Facing Waves is brought to you by Wave Sport. This is kayaking. Welcome back to Facing Waves. This week we're exploring the whitewater around Bryson City, North Carolina. After more than half a century of diverted flows, the Cheoah River recently began scheduled dam releases that allow paddlers to enjoy this long-forgotten gem.
So the Cheoah was part of a relicensing agreement a couple years ago where Duke Power relicensed the powerhouses for several dams. And what it is a pretty tough Class 4 option for the Southeast. It's roadside, we have consistent release dates, some big water moves, and then a lot of creek moves and boofs and that sort of thing. And so it's a great place to build up for harder creeks if you're first getting into creek boating. And the consistency is great and the proximity to the Nantahala. It's only about 45 minutes from here.
It's technical, but it's pushy in a way that most southeastern rivers aren't. Like one of the other rivers that's really famous in the southeast is Section 4 of the Chattooga. It's a classic, but it's pool drop. What was a game changer for Cheoah is that it's continuous. And so it was just a really different feel than a lot of the other rivers in the southeast. And so it gives for some good variety.
You know, one thing about paddling in the Southeast is you learn how to keep your feet up. Either you learn it through pain or you learn it because you did it right. A lot of drops look really rough, and they are if you mess up, but what we do here is we learn to run real tight and run tight lines, and keeps you out of trouble.
The addition of scheduled water releases has not only allowed kayakers to enjoy the Cheoah, but it's opened up the river to commercial rafting trips and one of the wildest raft rides in the Southeast.
So the Cheoah is a neat raft trip. You know, in the Southeast, rafting is kind of an old game. There's classic runs here like the Chattooga, Ocoee, Nolichucky, and you know what you're dealing with. And so Cheoah came on the scene just 8 or 10 years ago, and it's already proven to be one of the toughest runs in the East, if not in the U.S. Really technical, continuous, but it's a good time. It's pretty splashy. Doesn't have real huge drops, but it's a good challenging run where you work hard, you get your boat down the river, and when you're done, you're like, wow, that was a pretty serious raft trip. You know, a lot of folks that come on the Cheoah trip, because it is a pretty heavy Class 4 trip, might be what you call raft travelers or raft tourists. They're folks that have been on trips in California, Colorado. They've been to the Gauley, they've been to the Chattooga Section 4, and the Cheoah is kind of the new one, the new game on the block, and so they come to check that out. Except for floods, you didn't have water in there for 80 years, 90 years. And so once they started the releases there, we actually had a crew go through and cut channels down the river to run the main rapids, and that's part of the charm on Cheoah is you can't just relax in an easy rapid because you might get stuck in a tree. When you do the Cheoah run, you come out into the lake below that. There's another dam called Calderwood, and it's just an amazing view. You have 2 ridgelines there, you have the powerhouse in the dam.
Yeah, we've done it a lot of times, but I was a little scared. This was our first Class 5.
I thought it was going to be scary, but when we got out there and got going, we got great guides, and he just made us pros, so we had a good time.